Okay, so good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today we have a really interesting conversation and talk, and today we have our third episode of BA Day Afterwork Talk podcast. And today we will talk about future of hybrid teams and how business analysts and AI can collaborate. Let me introduce hosts. It's me, Oleksandr Moskalyuk, and Robert and Rainer went. Rainer, please tell a few words about yourself. Just remind our audience about your role in Business Analysis Conference, in BA Day Conference, and we will go
Yes,
on.
Yes. Thank you, Alexander, for the warm introduction. Yes, I'm excited to be here with our guest Robert, and I will shortly pass on the ball to him. We have in front of us the sixth European Business Analysis Day in 2025 in May, and of course, uh, even in the last and the fifth one this year and in the next one, AI, artificial intelligence, is playing an important role. I'm still a bit of, let's say, conservative in terms of artificial intelligence, but I'm curious at the same time. So there is a certain skepticism, and so let's see what Robert can tell us. Maybe he will make me even more curious. So yes, to keep it short, let's quickly tell us, or quickly tell you something about our sponsors. So if you can go to the next page. Yeah, we are excited to have Deutsche Telekom in the middle, very prominent position. We're actually doing consulting for the telecom as well, and telecom has decided to become the premium sponsor. And we would like to thank you as well, the IREP, the International Requirements Engineering Board, and they have supported us for years. I think it's the fourth or the fifth time, and so this is really appreciated that we have that big names for the sponsors. Yes, and let's keep it short and go to Robert's page. A few words about Robert, and then I will, as I said, pass the ball to him. Robert Vogel is the CEO of Unternehmen mit Zukunft Limited GmbH, which can be translated as companies with futures, and he is kind of specialized in AI. And before I tell you something about him, uh, the stage is yours, Robert. Have fun.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you very
and
much.
I will
So the
stop.
first thing you see from AI is my own picture created with one of the generative AI tools, Fel AI, and looks as a model.
Yeah,
so Alex,
Robert.
if you stop your sharing or just do you have something to add?
I will stop my sharing, and you can share your presentation. I know you have a beautiful, interesting slides and some entertainment for our guests today. So
yes, hopefully.
But
please
Robert,
share your screen.
But why you are sharing your screen? What were the commands to the artificial intelligence to create your picture?
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, first, so pretty cool. And first question, and I'm really appreciate to answer this question. So first of all, pretty often you have not the right picture or the right photograph, and this is the really cool use tool for me to produce my own. And it's not always pictures like this. This is more or less me as a Jedi Knight, and you see a little bit of the red glowing lightsaber. And I use this picture really to start the discussion and showing what is the potential out of artificial intelligence and especially of generative AI, and especially the quality you can produce pictures right now within these tool sets. And perhaps two sentences to the background of this. What I did is I uploaded 20 pictures of myself from different positions, different angles, smiling, not smiling. And then I train this model. And after I train this model, I can put a prompt into this, and then it produced me this picture. And the prompt here is really give me a Jedi Knight from the dark side of the Force with a red lightsaber. And this is a part of this overall picture. And it's pretty cool if you start talking about artificial intelligence to use such a picture. And if you see myself right now, it's pretty similar. It really fits a little bit. So if I have a lightsaber right now, it would look like me, which is a cool approach, I guess. I hope.
Yeah, fantastic result. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hope you have some starship here buried in the backyard, yeah, somewhere. So now I will stop sharing, and yeah, please share your screen and start your interesting presentation.
I will. So first of all, in the discussion about artificial intelligence, I pretty often start with a kind of separation and a little bit of history in the artificial intelligence area. Because what I sense at the moment is that anything is AI right now. It doesn't matter what is behind, anything is AI. And so I would like to start giving you 3 pictures about artificial intelligence. And the first one is, let me name it classical software. So we have an input, you have a processing of this input, and you have an output. For example, Word. So if you load your document, you work on this document, and you save your document, and that's it. This is classical software. You have a root cause, you have step by step, you have a deterministic outcome. And if you do the same, normally, if there's not an error in the software, you will have the same output as well. And this is pretty much classical software, classical algorithm, classical art of working with data. But it's not only classical, even now you have many use cases where you should use this approach than using an artificial intelligence approach, especially if you're thinking about automation processes. Pretty often having an algorithm is a better approach than thinking, wow, now artificial intelligence is the right choice for my use case. And I have also a description of this, but this is not the slide I would like to show you, but I guess you can download the PDF finally, and then I can give you the PDF for your purpose, and then you can start reading this documentation, which is also in the slide. Next step is the so-called machine learning. And this is where the first approach of artificial intelligence arise. And that's around 30, 35 years ago, where people thought, how can I build a computer software, an architecture that is able to handle data that the software didn't know? So with unstructured data, with pictures you not have in your file system. And so they thought it could be a good thing to recognize patterns and build an architecture like our brain, because we are really able to do this pretty efficient with a real cool outcome, dealing with situations we do not know before. And so the people say, well, okay, let us introduce a so-called neural network, which is similar to our brain, which has an input and then layers that combine the inputs from the layers before. And if they hit a certain threshold, then they fire to the next layer. And the difference to the classical software is here, you have to start with a training session, with a training phase, which means here in the area of cat pictures, you have to learn about whatever, 10,000, 15,000 cat pictures. And we as humans said, well, this is a cat, or sometimes you have a dog picture and we say, no, this is not a cat. And after the training phase, the neural network is with a high probability able to predict whether a picture that is not trained on is a cat or not. So this area is the area of prediction. You have one task and you predict stuff. Perhaps you know this with pictures of your skin, and you have the idea whether you should go to the doctor because it could be a skin cancer or whether this is just a pigmentation. This also is a use case for this neural net machine learning area. The interesting thing is you do not work on data. There is no single cat picture in this neural network. This is pretty important because pretty often in the discussion, anything is about data. But the curious thing is there is no data in this neural network, no cat image. This is really to understand and to think through. The neural network is trained on data, but then what is the neural network by itself is a kind of patterns, weights, and parameters. Not more. And really the magic thing is that with these patterns, with these parameters, the neural network is able to recognize a new picture. But no single cat picture is in this neural network. And this really pretty important because it causes really interesting steps if you start to introduce AI and if you start to evaluate AI, whether it's a good approach to your use case. And since 2017, a new architecture starts, and this is the so-called transformer architecture. And the transformer architecture is transforming an input sentence, so dealing with speech, dealing with text, and is transforming this text into an output text. And I guess we all know what happened 2.5 years ago with ChatGPT, that with this chatbot, we first really experience a human-like interaction with a computer program, with these ChatGPT. In the back, there's nothing else that it transforms an input to an output, but it does this really clever. And in addition to this, or I would tell you a few sentences about how this learns. So the first thing, a transformer is learning against all available data in the internet. And it's learning in the prediction and the probability, what is the next word in a sentence. Which means if you have all your Wikipedia, all your PDFs, you can start with a text, and then the transformer will say, well, okay, the next word is this or that or whatever. So it learns with the probability of the next word. But this is not the magic in this transformer. The magic comes with the next layer, and the next layer is a context layer. Just an example, if I say, well, let's go to the bank. If we talk about my financial situation upfront to the discussion about the bank, then pretty often it could be in Germany, it's a Kreissparkasse. So pretty often it's really a financial institute. If before we talk about a nice walk in the forest, then it could be a sitting bank where you can sit on at the forest and having a nice rest on this bank. So the layer that is on these, thinking about the probability of the next word, is the attention layer, so the context layer. And you can imagine the financial situation or the forest, this is a pretty simple one. There are layers about layers about layers about different contexts. And this is what really is the magic behind transformer models. And the transformer models have around 150 billion parameters. So it's really a huge architecture with a huge set of parameters and thresholds. But again, no single Shakespeare document is in this architecture. No single book is in this architecture. It's all about the training and then the building blocks of these parameters and these different layers. And the final layer was that it was trained or is trained for conversation, which means if you have a transformer model which is not trained on conversations, you get out silly sentences which have no sense. So pretty much the layer, which is also very important, is, and that was a human layer one, where a human said, well, okay, this is a good conversation, this is not a good conversation, and we all, especially with the licenses, with the free licenses, train these model in addition, where we say, well, okay, thumbs up or even not thumbs up. In this is a good conversation or not. And these are transformer models, and the transformer models was the start of generative AI. And just an overview, as I said, everything is AI at the moment, but don't trust this, trust your own suggestion where you say, well, okay, this is algorithm based and they operate with data, they build on it, they change it, they save it, classical software. This is a one-trick pony where you recognize an image or with one single task. This could be a machine learning area, or it produces new data. It transforms an input to an output. And this could be not only text, but also videos, images, as I mentioned in the beginning, images, audios, videos as well. And there are different tools in this generative AI area that help you producing this videos, this images, this text. So these are the three scenarios. One, view to the future. This is, perhaps you already heard it. This is the thing where people say, well, okay, what is the next step in artificial intelligence? And it's a so-called AGI area. And this is named artificial general intelligence. And this means AI is capable to do anything we can do, anything, reasoning, thinking, anything, but much better than we are able to do this. And the prediction is that we will reach AGI within the next 5 to 10 years. Nobody knows, but it could happen, and probably we will not see it by ourselves whether it happens or not, because these kind of software is so intelligent that we are even not able to control it and recognize it. This is also a danger. So I really appreciate to keep the human in the loop and really control artificial intelligence as well, and find the right balance between the controlling and between the potential use cases that are in this area. Okay, and now to our main topic, the future of work, especially the hybrid teams. My hypothesis is that in the future, or it starts right now, we will have in our organization so-called hybrid teams. And these hybrid teams is a combination of us as humans, our own AI assistants that we build for ourselves, expert AIs, and tools. So this is the combination of the team. A tool could be anything. So pretty often companies starting now think about artificial intelligence and how they use this for specific tasks. This could be then a tool, or just a few names. HiGen is a tool for build AI avatars, videos. Midjourney is a tool for imaging as well. Or you have the pretty new real-time API for audio, so that you can call your assistants and have a chat in a natural, like a telephone call, in a natural language. VAPI also is a tool for combining a telephone number with an AI, so that the access to AI is really at the moment as simple as just calling a telephone number. And then on the other side, an artificial intelligent bot is answering your questions. There we are. And my prediction is, in the future, we will have a combination of all these things in our organizations and in the teams we are working in the organization. And the basics, the foundation of all these stuff started in the beginning of this year, and it's the so-called CustomGPT. Perhaps you already heard it, perhaps not. I will describe this a little bit, and then we will build one. A CustomGPT is a language model. So if you use ChatGPT, this is a language model from OpenAI. Perhaps you use Claude or Perplexity or all the other language models. And this is where, as I mentioned before, the trained model will transform your input into an output. But this is a more or less common output. So you write something, you prompt something, and with this prompt, you will get the output. The next step should be that we give this model a little bit of instruction, a little bit of a behavior that fits to us or that fits to our organization. And this is the next step. And OpenAI started with the custom GPTs, the possibility to really put in these instructions into a GPT so that we can start building our own assistants, bring in our own context. And this is then persistent for all our chats, which means you can share this GPT with other users, and the behavior of the GPT reflects your instructions. From a nerd perspective, this is a so-called system prompt. So this is what you put into your large language model, and how the system, this model, will react. In addition to this, you have a further opportunity to upload, or a chance to upload documents to your GPT, which means you build a kind of knowledge base, and your custom GPT is able to get the information out of these knowledge base. And in this case, for the custom GPT, the knowledge, they read the knowledge base, they read the documents, and the documents will then a part of your prompting. In this case, also a persistent knowledge base, which means you can upload to up to 20 documents, up to 5 gigabytes. And these documents will stay as a knowledge base at these custom GPT. And if you share this custom GPT, the other user is able to ask against these documentations as well. So it's persistent. And the final thing, the third thing, is you can add a so-called workflow to these custom GPT. Which means, for example, simple workflow, you want to have the information of one of your potential partners, you have the LinkedIn account, and then you can put the LinkedIn link to the custom GPT and ask for the description, the posts of these potential partner, and get all the information. Then you can build a profile directly here in this custom GPT out from the LinkedIn data. And this is a custom GPT. The interesting thing is that this is pretty easy to build. And the same questions you think about building this custom GPT are the same questions you have to raise if you say, well, okay, we want to introduce artificial intelligence in our overall organization. Because then you also have to deal, what is the context of the AI? You have to deal, how do we handle the data, the documents, where are the documents stored? And you also have to think how to introduce this artificial intelligence into our business processes. So even in this area, I just intended to say small area, but it's not a small, it's a little area, a smaller use case. You have the same question to answer than if you have a big project in your organization. And now we would like to start building such a custom GPT. So we have an interactive part, and I start to build this. And at the moment, we use the OpenAI area. So as soon as you have a Plus account or an enterprise license, we have an enterprise license, you are able to build your own custom GPT. So I switch over to, this is the area here in the OpenAI platform. And on the right-hand side, you have all your GPTs, and I switch on my GPTs, and then you see all the GPTs I have. And at the moment, I have more than 40. I use for our customers. We have some we build for our customers, and we have a few more that are hidden, that are especially for the members here of our working place in this area. And you see all different kinds of custom GPT. And I will click on one. Let me check. Let's go to Emma. And as soon as I click on Emma, now you can talk directly to Emma. And I will do the following. I will share the environment where you build Emma. So you can say, click on this and say, work on your GPT. And then the environment where you can produce your GPT will be open. And on the left-hand side, you have the possibility to configure your custom GPT. And on the right-hand side, you have directly the test and the preview of your custom GPT. And especially what I do, I tell you and I show you the different areas we discussed before. And the first thing here, this is the so-called instruction area. And what I do, I copy this because we are at the moment in an international area. And I say, well, okay, please translate me this instructions to English. And then we can take a look at the English version of this instructions. So we have it here. And this is what Emma is all about. Your name is Emma and you are a mentor for developing elements of an effective AI strategy. So I use this custom GPT for helping companies and organizations building an AI strategy, which is pretty cool because we use our own dog food to really discuss what is a potential and effective AI strategy. I have the communication style. You're available as a conversation partner who often asks questions and critically examine situations. You have yeah, that's a nice thing. You have a fable for system theory. So especially I'm a fan of Niklas Luhmann. That is a guy who developed the social system theory. And this is a pretty interesting theory and an approach to see problems of an organization a little bit different than the classical approach. And so I said, well, okay, beside the mainstream, because the mainstream is already in the large language model, beside the mainstream, I will add also the capability of thinking a little bit outside the box. And if I add Niklas Luhmann's theory of social systems, that is a good approach to think also a little bit out of the box. Avoid judgment. It's a pretty important thing for a custom GPT, not to say you do this is good, this is bad, but really thinking about a more clean and more consultative approach. Focus on understanding and speaking with the people, communicate informatically, a bit challenging and really, but not overbearing. So really pushing a little bit the stuff. And in addition to this, what I do with Emma here as well is really thinking about some features, and perhaps an approach that is named Kill the Companies, which is a methodology to think about what is the threat for a company. And if you start discussing these threats for a company, you can find ways to avoid these threats, and these ways are pretty much more effective than by just thinking what could be a next potential step in our strategy. And so Emma is available for kind of thinking out of the box with a kill the company methodology. Perhaps much better, you know, the SWOT analysis. So really thinking about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities. And in addition to this, you have a to-do command. Is, well, okay, I would like to have the first idea of what can I do to react against the killer company and the SWOT analysis. And you have a strat command here, where you say, well, okay, give me the strategic implies for the company. And mentioned before, the hybrid teams. So Emma pretty often works close together with Ulf, and Ulf is able to grab information from a website. So Emma is asking Ulf, give me the information from the website, and then she's able to analyze in a SWOT or in a killer company methodology the information she get out from Ulf. And this is a little bit the approach of how the team will work together. And we will build these custom GPTs in our workshop during the BA day in the next year, so that you have not only what I tell you right now, but then have a really hands-on experience building this by yourself. The next thing is, I show you in a second the documents I uploaded. Here a list of the documents I uploaded. This is the second part I mentioned before, so that Emma has many documents. She is able to read off their knowledge base to produce answers that are also intended by these documents and also have a base in these documents. And you see as well, Luhmann system theory is a part of here. Again, Luhmann system theory and a documentation of Professor Dr. Kruse. He was a real cool guy for leadership questions, and keynotes and strategy stuff is in here as documents. And that's it more or less for Emma and her instruction, her system prompt. And as I mentioned before, this is on the left-hand side down here. You can upload documents, and they were uploaded my own books, Welle der Wirksamkeit. I uploaded here a leadership approach. And even if these are German documents, she can read it and then answer as well in a different language. So that this is international from design, up at the beginning, up from the start. And then finally, the third thing, and I show you this as well, even if I know sometimes it's a little bit disturbing, because this is really technical stuff, but I will show you this as well. This is the approach to combine and to link this custom GPT to another workflow, to another API. And this is the so-called JSON file or JSON construct, where you have a really defined situation to call another application. But I will close this.
I think Rainer has a question. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I'm quite excited. So this is really great what you are showing us here.
Yeah.
My question, and I'm too curious to wait, is can I feed several books into the custom ChatGPT, or to Emma actually? So because
Yes.
I'm a business analyst, I'm a trainer. I have I've seen the Babok with version 3.0 coming out 2015. So it's quite established since yeah, more or less 9 years, 10 years now, and it has developed to be a kind of de facto industry standard for business analysis. So this would be the first asset I would feed into a BA assistant kind of. Is this possible? It's 500 pages, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. And this is then the essence. And as I say, let's give us the next 10 minutes to just build such a BA assistant. And I have here a nice little prompt. We would like to build a custom GPT with the role of a business analyst. Please give us a detailed description and consider the following question. How could the AI help? What is the target group? And
Yeah, okay.
And the final question is, well, how should the AI behave? And we can use, let's use Emma. Let's use Emma and find out what she says about this. So I put these prompt into Emma, and then you start. And this is the part where I do not know what happened. but this is an approach you can build these custom GPTs as well, because you can use AI to build all this stuff. And now she's producing us the instructions for a BA, and then we start building this BA. And you see it, data analyst with the SWOT risk analyst, what is the target group, as we own it, and you know this better than I do. but these are the topics our new BA will working on. And yeah, let's copy this. Let's copy this. Whoop. And then go back to our approach where we say, well, okay, my GPTs, build a new GPT and say, I would like to build custom GPT. Here is the description. Boom. And then let's the magic begin. So what I do now is we have from the construction base two things. Now I'm on the left-hand side, and there I can use AI to build this in a kind of dialogue. So I put in, I would like to have this, I would like to have that behavior. And I started the dialogue by asking Emma, give me this dialogue. And now I put this answer in, and now the AI started to produce me this custom GPT. And you see at once at the right-hand side that it's producing things. You have the first questions, you have a first name, and now it asked me, let's choose a name for this GPT. How about Business Insight Analyst? And then I say, yes, please, yes. And then on the right-hand side, you see producing the name for me. And now our custom GPT will have the name Business Insight Analysts.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sure.
So actually not for you, for Emma.
Oh, for our Business Insight Analyst.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
another one.
So yeah, so I've put a question in the chat. How can I build trust with stakeholders?
Yeah, give me a second. I finished this. Or we can ask Emma in the beginning. Let's start with Emma.
No, you can go according to your base.
Okay, then let's build our business analyst. We can do the following. We can ask Emma and our business insight analyst and find out what is the different answer. So at the moment, you see we have a naming now. It produces a picture, and then we can say that's okay, that's fine. Okay, that is fine. Let's start with this one. And now we did it. Within the last 5 minutes, we built our business insight analyst. And now we say, well, okay, build it, erstellen. And here I can say who has access to this business insight analyst. And you can say, well, okay, only me, or people I sent the link, or we can say anybody with the link. So if I send you the link into the chat, you can do this then with your own ChatGPT environment. Even if you have a free account, you can use this custom GPT on your own purpose. And I say, build it, and then it starts to build this custom GPT.
While it's building, what are your suggestions or recommendations about confidential documentation and information?
Very interesting stuff. So especially what we do is the first two things. First of all, are you willing, and this is a really important discussion, are you willing to put your documentation into the cloud? Which means you can have, or you have a similar environment within OpenAI than within Microsoft. And if you think about, I store my documentations in the cloud with Microsoft, then you have a similar approach with OpenAI as well. And then you can say also to OpenAI, well, I would like to have a Microsoft data center where I store stuff, which means, and you have the same level of data protection than you have with Microsoft. And we have also data processing, and as an enterprise, with an enterprise license, you have a data processing document where is defined how to handle all these documents in conjunction and in work together with OpenAI. So this is the first thing. The second thing is, if you say, well, these are really documents I don't want to share even with Microsoft, or really not bring these documents outside the firewall, then you have to consider the next step. Will I build up these custom GPT inside my own architecture? And that raised up a few questions. The question is, will you use a common model like OpenAI, like Google, like Llama? These are the models. Or are you willing, or will you use your own models, which means you can download a model to your own system and start using this in your own IT department. And this is the bandwidth where you say, well, okay, I have no problems with my data and the data protection. I'm using the cloud already with Microsoft. I will use this also with OpenAI. And the other side is, oh my goodness, none of my data is showing into the cloud. I want to have anything behind a firewall. Then you have to start building the stuff in your own IT department, in your own area.
I think you should set the name there.
Pardon me?
I think you should set name there when
Yes,
you
you're
publish
right.
it.
Sorry for that.
No worries at all.
Business Analyst, I have a name.
Should be, yes. Should. But
Here
there is,
you
it's asking
go.
something, yeah.
Füge Persona, that's let's say I say only for me. Let's say Robert. This is only the guy I share this with. But let's
okay.
let it share with myself. Yeah. So for this, and then I say aktualisieren. Ungesicherte Änderungen. Muss ich noch irgendwas speichern? Do I have to save something?
I think it's, yeah, it's processed.
But it's not yet saved, isn't it? So now it could happen that we just killed it.
It's a,
Hopefully
it's a demo. Yeah.
Yeah. WAPI helper. So let's check whether we have our business analyst here in this area. Raphael Tarkan. Recruiting, mein Förder, Ulf der Stratege. You see, we have so many different custom GPTs. No, it looks like it is gone. But the good thing is, we start over again and do it again. So we say, oh, I need to shift the Zoom stuff. Let's do it again. GPT erstellen. Please. So we have it here. It's just in the minute area. Yeah, we have enough time. Let's do it again. We copy this. Please build. Please build this custom GPT. So we do it again. And beside he's working, I tell you a few other things. So especially another topic in the data is the copyright. This is another very important topic. So you are not allowed just to grab a PDF from the internet and then put it here into your custom GPT. You really have to consider, is this a free one? And do you have the rights to really build this? And that is important. Pretty often you have a so-called Creative Commons license. If you have a Creative Commons license, you can use this. Otherwise, you have to find different ways. So, for example, what I pretty often do is really contact the author and say, well, okay, I would like to use a part of your book. Is this okay for you? And then the author is able to say, well, okay, that's fine, that's nice, and let me do this. And then I'm able to have the rights to upload the documentation or the book to my custom GPT. Said this, if you start building your own custom GPT, it's a huge value if you have your own book or have your own documents, because this is able to separate your custom GPT from all other custom GPTs and even from all other large language models. Because a large language model is more or less the common sense, what the language would learn from the internet. If you add the instruction, then it's on your behavior. But if you add your specific documents, you're able to develop these custom GPT to more or less an expert AI, an expert GPT, because it has documents that are not shared in the internet and not common over these language models. And this is a pretty interesting thing, because what you can do then as a business analyst, you can say, well, okay, I have my own approaches, my own methodologies. I use this way and that way. I have my own experience, and I add this experience to my own custom GPT. And then I use this GPT to help me in my projects. And this could be a pretty cool approach to push your own work. So hopefully now it's working. Let me check what happened here. Aktualisieren. Something is not really working. Let's find out here. Business Analyst, this is okay, this is okay. This is okay. Erstellen. Aktualisieren.
You just have to pick yourself. Weitergeben.
Oh, I did this before, but I think it should be okay.
Yeah, it will. I think it's already, yeah, it should already
Should work.
be available. Yeah, you can try to open in other screen. Yeah,
Then let's check the
as
chat
a tab.
and the question of Rainer. Let me see, where is this question?
Oh, I can just tell you that how can I build trust with stakeholders?
Ah, richtig. How
can I build trust?
Build trust with
stakeholders.
So now let's see what happened here. Yeah, and you can see the first outcome. Open and transparent communication, regulars. And this is now a combination from our behavior, so from our instructions and from this part and the common sense. And as soon as you upload a document, and I will do this, I prepared one. So I upload building blocks. I think it's this one. Upload. Building blocks often efficient. Let me check this. It should be this. The role of business analytics. So I have grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed the wrong one. Let me check this again. Business analytics, this one. Öffnen. So this is the one I showed you, and I delete this. This is something I should not use. Boom. And now I have this document here and edit this document. It's the role of business analytics in strategic planning discussion, how business analytics contribute to the strategic planning process in business. This is a Creative Commons document, so you can use this. And then we can ask, some things of the system at the moment is a little bit strange. Let me check. What is strategic planning? And now it's also working on this document. Grab the information of the document and use this especially in the answer. And so you put together the instruction. This is what is in the large language model, and this is what is in the knowledge base. And the outcome is a combination of all these things. And then we can start Emma as well, because Emma has a little bit different approach. How to build trust with stakeholders of stakeholders of a huge company. I add. Boom. And now you see Emma has a little bit a different approach, because the documents I uploaded to Emma are more or less related to leadership and to also the Niklas Luhmann approach for social system. And so she will have parts in common with our business analyze robot or CustomGPT, but also in addition stuff that is in her knowledge base. And you can see this, and this is an approach.
Yeah,
Okay, I use this in my projects.
I can see the differences. This is amazing.
Yeah.
For example, in the trained version, they said something about avoid jargon.
Okay.
Use a clear language, and this is not mentioned by Emma here. So this is coming from different sources. This is really nice.
And we can ask her directly this idea of a special person, or here Niklas Luhmann, put these ideas directly into your consideration, and then she will view this question from a different angle and put the different angle in the answer. And you see something is nearly the same, reduce uncertainty, but something is in addition to the answer before. And this is an important part. What we did over the last 10 minutes is really build the context of these custom GPT with the instruction, with the documents we uploaded to this custom GPT. And building the context is the most important part in this area here. And as soon as you start really to build stuff and develop your custom GPT into your own context, the better you will get the answer from her or him or the robot, your custom GPT. And you see it's a much more detailed answer now if you said, well, okay, please consider Niklas Luhmann stuff into your answer. And so it will help you in your work really to see different angles, test different scenarios, and have a support in a custom GPT that put together or do make your work more efficient, more, let me say more, what is the right English wording? I don't want to say professional, but you can do more with a combination of yourself and the AI in a higher quality and in a broader range. I think this is a good wording in what you can do working together in a hybrid team with you and your expert AI or your AI assistant. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of let's say steering impulse, sometimes hidden steering impulse, which you give you can feed the model with your own thoughts, and then probably the model will answer your team mates with something which is heavily influenced by yourself.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm just thinking.
No, you're completely right. And I stopped the sharing, and perhaps I will add one thing where I made really good progress and would differentiate the AIs we build. So especially I built one AI called Casey. And Casey is an interview AI. So what we do, we start our conversation, and then she asked me questions, which is pretty amazing. So I don't ask her questions, she asked me questions. And then finally, we start a discussion. I pretty often do this via the telephone. And finally, it's really like an interview, like a real interview. And I tell stories about what I experience. And finally, we save this discussion and save this interview and upload this interview to my expert AI. What happen is that to all this knowledge base, you will add experience to your expert AI. The experience and the storytelling I did with Casey by her interviewing me. And this was a really great experience to push your custom GPT to a next level. And after this, the custom GPT really answered completely different, a little bit more like me, a little bit more out of a storytelling environment. And that was really amazing. That was really amazing. And finally, I will show you what I mentioned before. Hi, hello, wie geht's dir denn? How are you at the moment? Please answer in English.
Hi there. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's everything on your end?
I'm fine. I'm directly in a Zoom conference call, and we're talking about business analysts. Can you give me a short idea what a business analyst is and what the tasks of these these tasks are?
Sure. A business analyst is someone who helps organizations improve their processes, products, services, and software through data analysis. They act as a bridge between stakeholders like management and IT to ensure that business needs are clearly understood and solutions are effective.
Okay. Can you give me a specific use case from the real world?
Certainly. Let's say a retail company wants to implement a new inventory management system. A business analyst would start by understanding the current process, identifying pain points like
Okay. Thank you very much. That's it. Thank you very much for your introduction and the questions you give us.
Yeah, a few questions more and we will be out of our jobs.
Gern geschehen. Bis zum nächsten Mal.
Yeah, geez. The answer, sorry. And this is at the moment another device or another approach how to communicate with your custom GPTs just by calling them, as I said in the beginning. And this is the easiest way to have a custom GPT to your service.
Yeah,
Really interesting.
Yeah, so I would like to open for a few questions if you have some.
Let's ask here our audience. Maybe you have some questions to Robert.
Yeah.
Just unmute, yeah.
Yes, I have. My name is Ivan. I'm a business analyst. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was both informative and thought-provoking. I have two questions. How do you assess the effectiveness of collaboration between a business analyst and artificial intelligence, and what parameters can be used to evaluate the effectiveness? I just imagine just one. It's speed, but I would like to. I would like to know your thoughts. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So what I sense at the moment is really two things. The first thing, as you mentioned, is speed. So I, for myself, if I use my own expert AIs and even the customers, the AIs we build for our customers, they sense that they are much faster than without. So that's number one. Perhaps there are three things. The second is the quality of, let me say, an offer or a marketing instrument, marketing document is much higher because in my case, I'm not good in writing, but the AI will help me, and we together are really able to produce things that are much better than I would write it by myself. So one thing is that the quality could be higher than working by yourself. So the speed, the quality, so time and quality is a nice thing. And another topic is the ideas. So pretty often I use these custom GPTs to say, well, okay, this is what I have. Give me 5 more ideas that are not reflected in this document, in this scenario, in this analysis. And then the AI started to bring me new ideas, other ideas. And so I'm able to broaden up my answers to customers and my approach to customers. So myself and the AI together will have a much broader bandwidth of doing things, using methodologies, and give feedback to the customers. So I think these are the three things I see what are a good measurement of the quality and of the add-on and the value of these custom GPTs. So the time, the quality, and the broaden up of the opportunities and the things you think about.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I may have a question about the origins for the answers. Once you upload your own documents, it's clear that it refers to the own documents. But when I don't use my own documents, for example, and I receive the answers, how do I know from which the origins of the answers were created?
Yeah, thank you. Pretty good question. So if this is a use case, you need to have the origin or the links or the foundation and the documents the answers based on. Then I pretty often use Perplexity, because Perplexity is a model that give you the hints to this.
That's what I'm
Sometimes I use more than only one model. I use Perplexity and Claude and GPT, because Perplexity is not really good in creative stuff. It's
No.
really more a kind of Google plus as a language model, and it's really good.
Yeah.
And what I also do is what you can do is really use Perplexity. You have an outcome of custom GPT, of such a custom GPT, and you take the outcome and give it to Perplexity and say, well, okay, you are now the professor of XY, and you have to find out the foundation of these answers. Please do this for me. And then you combine these models.
Yeah.
And then you are more effective than only using one. Yeah.
Yeah. So great point. And indeed, I do it nearly the same way.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
that's within the Perplexity, I will receive also the origins for how the answers were created. Yeah. And Perplexity is not, as ChatGPT, a generative AI.
Yeah.
It's more trivial AI.
Yeah. There is a language model beneath Perplexity, but it's really a combination of a language model and the search engine.
Yeah. By the way, which tool did you use on your iPhone or I guess it was an iPhone or so?
Yeah, it was an iPhone. It's also OpenAI, and it's the new audio model. So
okay.
they released 2 weeks ago or so a new audio.
I think longer, yeah, and it's also available on Android as well. It's the recent version of mobile app, and you can use this, conversations model.
Available for different systems.
Could you put the name to the chat, please?
Yeah.
It's OpenAI, just called, I think. I think it's just ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's a normal ChatGPT, and if you have the Plus or the Enterprise license, you can click on your phone on the right-hand side to these audio icon, and then it starts. Sometimes it's not yet available in certain areas of the world. So it depends whether you have regulations or not, because this is a different kind of a discussion. It's a more natural one, and it starts not being here in Europe or in the EU. It's better, but they start to roll it out also in the EU area.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so
This is just the beginning. So we are still in the first years of this, and the development, really the direction this is going is really an interesting but also a scaring one. So if you think about AGI and what is AGI capable, I really start a discussion of, guys, we should think a little bit about whether we do things we are not able to control in the future, and it's better to think now than after it's too late.
anyway, let's hope about good Gen AI, not about Terminator. Yeah.
Now it's
No.
I don't want to evaluate it. So I don't want to put a label on it. It's good or bad. That is the as soon as you do this, you go to a moral discussion, and then you finally say, well, it's a kind of bad robot, or it's the healer of the world and can anything. I like more to put a kind of what is the use case, and are we able to control it and consider our approach to these artificial intelligence. And as soon as this is a yes, and you can tick on a yes, then I'm fine. And we should really be aware of not give these technology the power to do things by their own. It's really we should really take care about this.
Great. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm really thinking about, if you are leading bigger teams. I'm leading a team of roughly 50 people now, together with a colleague, and it's a huge carve out. It's a carve out out of Vattenfall. A new company is starting to exist, and there are tons of questions coming each and every day. And probably I would check whether this can be financed, that we put all the how-tos and all the rule sets and all the assets we feed it into a custom ChatGPT. And if people from my team don't know how to behave in particular situations, just send them to let's say Gustav. Or I have to invent a name for him.
Yeah,
Right. Actually, just recently, Zoom presented new feature. It's called virtual present. So you can create your virtual model, and people will call your virtual model, and it will talk with them here during the Zoom call. So
yeah, a dream becomes true.
So can go sailing, and the team talks to the avatar then?
Exactly.
It will be the next question.
Really?
Yeah, who are you talking to? Yeah, the real person, or it's a virtual present.
So you will never be on vacation anymore.
Or you can stay in the bed, yeah, for a long time, just waiting, yeah, while your virtual presence, yeah, spending all your money.
Yeah.
And that's part of Zoom now?
Yeah, it's a new feature for Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just making this.
Cool.
You can record the video, or you can even create your virtual presence and use it in calls. I haven't tested, but yeah, I think they move in this direction.
And
Is
this
that different
avatar,
from the AI companion that's for several months available now in Zoom? There's this AI
no, I
companion.
think it's other. AI companion allows you
It's
to
other,
create
yeah.
summaries and ask questions about the current meeting, but
Yeah,
it's something
yeah,
else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
There's
something
a
else.
nice,
Yeah,
there's a nice hint with this avatar which you can call. It's a kind of new next generation answering machine, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Something like
Or for
this.
training especially, or for what I build at the moment is a kind of management sparring partner. So where you have your challenges and you're able to call your sparring partner as an AI and then you can discuss stuff and then you can react and handle and decide in the real world. And
yeah.
especially for this purpose, it's a real value add.
At least
Yeah.
he will for sure pick up the phone.
Yeah.
It will talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So many
I think we should.
questions have come up then. So many questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, of course. It makes you thinking.
Yeah.
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 That's
So
pretty
what is
often.
it
So
worth
many
to be an
thanks, many
experienced
thanks,
manager?
Robert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty often the case that you have finally more questions than answers.
Yeah.
And starting with these things and having the first idea of build this by your own will give you a better feeling and better understanding what is possible and
Yeah.
what that's the approach we do with our customers. Really not telling these things, but doing them by themselves, and then you have a much better approach to these overall AI stuff.
Yeah. 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 Great.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
anyway, I want to remind you that Robert will host an online workshop during our conference. So don't forget to book your ticket, and book your place there, because the number of places are limited. And of course, we will have our next European BA Day next May, where we'll talk about AI a lot as well.
Yeah.
So please visit ba.com, select your tickets, join our conference, and see you during next podcasts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, a big thank you to Robert. It was really interesting, and yeah, I can't wait to attend your speech and the workshop May 14 and 15
Yeah, cool.
at the BA Day, at the 6 BA Day.
Yeah. Looking forward to meet you all, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Thank
So-
you.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Thank you for everything. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So,